Man, OBS.
Yeah, but whenever I shut off OBS, it still gives me just a blank screen. But I'll work on it while we talk here. Yeah, so I think it depends on where you're seeing my content. So at TikTok, and I don't have my 1,000 followers yet, so they would literally have to type in, go to my profile, get the link, and type it in, which is frustrating. But it sends them to my profile page. Essentially, it's a landing page. Essentially, it's like an about me page, or a bio, I guess is what I call it, link in bio page or whatever. Which they then have a couple options. It starts off with like at the top of it, and I can send you guys a link to it. The Fire Your Boss ebook for free, which is at the top. So it's like, hey, do you want to start a business? You know, grab this, and it's going to give you lots of resources to, best practices, the best ways to start an online business. And even within that ebook, then it's pretty much a funnel in and of itself that points to Entra and the Cohort IV as well. And at the bottom of my bio, link in bio, so it goes Fire Your Boss, and at the bottom is right to the Cohort IV, and it's actually the lander page for the journal. So you think about it, it's either if you want to start a business, let's get you started. If you have a business and you're struggling, this is a resource to help you. Grab this free workbook and journal. Hey, there we go. Not that looks any better, but
You didn't get dressed up for the day, dude.
it's real cool. Well, I guess for me it is dressed up, huh? Polo shirt, as opposed to my old blue t-shirt. When I have a gray t-shirt underneath, I can just rip this off and
It's starting to turn into a stripper podcast. Yeah. Monday it's all about shorts. Today it's all about tops. Like,
pushing shorts and ripping tops.
I think we just found the title.
Title for what? I don't know.
I'll leave that open to interpretation.
Yeah, but that one video I think you were talking about, was that the one with the 3 girls and they're turning the back and then they have the workbook? TikTok hates that for some reason. I put it on twice.
Hey, that one I
You get flagged and killed?
The first time I did it, yes, and it's community guidelines. It's unoriginal content or logo is what they said. So I appealed it and never even got a response back to that one. So then I pushed it in a second time, and I don't know how you guys have yours set up, if your business accounts or just private, or how your accounts are set up in TikTok. But I mean, I've set up as a business account, so I don't know if that could be part of it as well. And so I tried it again, and that time I actually clicked, like you have the option of clicking that it's promotional material. So I clicked, added it as promotional material, so I'm disclosing that, right? So it shouldn't have flagged at that point for branding, but it did. Whether it's branding or unoriginal content, they don't like that one for whatever reason. And I stole that template from CapCut.
Yeah, I used
template. Yeah.
Successfully, no.
Yeah, that's what's so frustrating about it. And I think he saw it when I got flagged on yesterday. And I couldn't see absolutely anything that could have. It was literally just me talking to a camera, and I had a logo on it. And at the end, not a logo, but I had an image of a chicken and an exit sign. And they flagged that one. I appealed it, and like 5 minutes later, it was back up. But it was like, I don't understand how that works. I really don't. Honestly, I think it's my account. If I'm going to start playing, going down that bad mindset road. Oh, it's just me. They're after me. They're targeting me. But at times it can feel like that. You put something out there and it's like, come on, man. Like, seriously. But, they put it back up and that one's going.
Good. Yeah, you've got some pretty cunning stuff out there.
I don't know about that, but I do like your horse's ass one.
I mean, I laughed. I don't know that anyone else liked it, but I thought it was great.
I thought it was good.
I am having fun with the content. Whether it's effective or not, I at least enjoy it.
Well, that's like half of it, though. If you're not enjoying it, it's going to get really old really fast, and it just becomes a monotonous task of, I have to get up and I have to do this, rather than I want to get up and want to do this. And if you're having fun, I mean, the followers will come. It just takes time. It's just about throwing the content there. And hey, if you can't laugh at a horse's ass, we don't want you here anyway.
And between that one and This Is Alex, Alex is Lazy, Don't Be Like Alex, I mean, those are my two favorites.
Yep.
Horse's ass.
How's Troy doing today?
Troy's good, man. Thank you for asking. Just looking at site analytics. Things are good, man. Nothing too new. I got gunsmithing shit all over the place.
You're making content.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with a pew this weekend, so that always puts me in a better mood. No, but Troy's good. Nothing too new. I've been steadily working on all these pieces of content, getting them closed captioned, and what am I at now? Let me look at my list. 60 something that are done. I should be able to finish today, and then just start rolling them out.
Love it.
Yeah. That's Troy's world in a minute.
Which site analytics are you looking at?
Hours. Looking at Kartra. Mm-hmm.
Any insights?
We're getting a little bit of traction. Just in the last week, we've had 10 new visitors, and everything's got tracking cookies now, and so these are new visitors. We've got 10 new visitors in the last 7 days to the homepage, and 6 to the course collections, and 11 to meet the coaches. No new leads, but I think that's all right. I don't know that we've really pushed landing pages too much. I've got about 30% of my content that pushes the lander. that's the only insight that I got.
What is the lander URL, and how can I find it in Kartra? So, for example, the Word Working Journal. Like, I can send people to the collections free page, but I can't find the lander URL specific to that, or any of them for that matter.
So if you go to pages,
Mhm.
product branding, go blurb.
Okay, where'd you find it?
Hold on one second. How to?
Jim just put it into the chat. So,
Yeah. So yeah, you just go to pages, click on cohort on the left, and it's about halfway down. Cohort workbook and journal lander. Then you click on the three buttons and it says get the link.
Awesome. Thank you.
So fill me in when I missed the other day. Fill me in on what you guys are thinking on bag of chicken.
Yeah.
Good, Jim.
We had a lot of thoughts going on that one, huh? So, from a horse perspective and what that outline looks like, I'll start with it. Sorry about that. So basically, I don't have the outline up in front of me, but it's essentially like a four-course module that one identifies what a chicken exit is. Basically on the premise of, if you go to an amusement park, you go into like a haunted house, and you have you're halfway through and you get scared, so you pop out through this side exit. Your kid gets scared and starts screaming, "I'm done, I'm out of here." So you start with that premise, and then it goes into explaining, identifying your chicken exits, and examples of them, things of that nature, and then dealing with them, and ultimately pushing them to the Cohort IV then, from the perspective of, you have these chicken exits, you're an entrepreneur, that, you just feel like quitting right now because things are not going your way. So let's get you straightened out. Here's a resource to do it. And then we started talking around the perspective of, do we sell this course, or do we maybe, I think what we ended up landing on from the thought perspective was, give this course away, because it's probably pretty easy to give away, a course to somebody. Anybody can line up for something, box of chicken, right? I mean, we've already decided that. And then point them to the workbook and journal, which we'll sell them for like 99 cents, just to get them into the funnel. Further into the funnel. So problem, chicken exits, here's how you solve for it. Let's get you this workbook and journal, drop us 99 cents, and now they're a paying customer, and then we start building off of that. Hey, you got the workbook and journal, now let's start building our funnel out further. Here's a course to help you, and you have like your video too, your free video that goes along with that. But I think it just goes off of that then from that point, and the sky's the limit, frankly. So initially I think we thought, give away the workbook, and then let's get them to their box of chicken, but switch or flop those either direction.
Okay.
Maybe A/B test it too, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I dig it.
Admittedly, I haven't shot the video yet for the intro. I think we were talking. We have out in the Google Drive the four sections, the four courses, or the four modules in the course, and I think Matt put our names. So I think I was one. Brian, I think you were the fourth one, if I recall. And then Matt, I can't remember you. Choice would have. I think you were flipping back and forth on.
There was a thing.
Cool.
I had the intention of doing one of them prior to today, but I haven't been able to get to it.
Am I sharing the thing?
Sure.
Yep. And this was just out of ChatGPT, so I mean, free reign to flip or flop or modify these in the need to within the modules. And I wasn't sure. Like I started drafting module 1, and like ChatGPT, there's like 3 or 4 different sections that they, within there, like different sub-modules within the module. When I start running the video, I may end up doing 3 or 4 different 4-minute videos. It just depends on how it starts going, so it doesn't get too long-winded. Still not quite sure how that's going to look. I'm not sure what your guys' thought was on that either from a timing perspective. I know we don't want to put a lot of time into something that we're giving away for free, right? But still want to give the value to it and make it something worthwhile.
I think that putting time into a freebie is just as important as putting time into a paid. So they're getting consistent quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, man. We're gonna set up a lander for box of chicken and start pushing people into that funnel.
Yeah, absolutely. I can clone one of our existing ones and get that lander built out, and then we'll get the course out there as well. Shouldn't take too long. We all sit down, take a module, and bang out a few 3-minute or 4-minute videos.
Dude, I dig it.
What are the rules on Facebook for landers? Does that have to be your own lander? What do they flag? If you're an affiliate, you send out the offer directly. Do they flag that?
Oh, as ads as content. If you put out an ad as content and you have a link in it, it's gotta be your website. It can't be a third party.
How do they verify that?
I don't know, probably the same way they verify whether or not something is copyrighted.
You see where I'm going with this? What can I get away with? Lander-wise.
Not much. With Facebook, not much.
How do we get people to landers?
Well, I mean, the workaround there is it's in the CTA. It's in the, DM me, send me a message, I'll get you where you need to be, that kind of thing. I know it's an extra step and it requires a little bit of monitoring of your messages, but I would assume that's the quickest way to get around it. Because in Messenger, I mean, I'm assuming, not that I do a whole lot of Facebook messaging, but my assumption is, based on everything that I've heard up to this point, you can basically not do whatever you want, but when it comes to links, you can send anybody a link you want to send them via Facebook Messenger.
Got it.
So other thing, and again, dependent on how people have been getting to the coreib.com website at this point, is it because they are hearing a CTA in a video, or because they are reading the descriptions and using that link to go to it? I mean, there's a couple of different ways, just from a content perspective, from other platforms outside of Facebook, that has the potential to be directed towards a lander rather than the homepage. Just follow.
Okay.
But everything that I've got coming out for the next 4 days says cohortiv.com. And I've got 2 posts a day going out for the rest of, well, until, I guess, Sunday. And those will hit my socials for anything that says, official Matt Barber. And then I also tried to set it up to go to shorts on the Cohort IV YouTube channel. Some of those have popped up too. Some of them haven't, so I'm going to have to troubleshoot this weekend on what is and isn't there and get some stuff uploaded. But there's more.
Yeah.
So for the videos that are on there, I haven't looked at deep dive analytics. I've just looked kind of at views. So we got 16 views on the conversation, nothing on the rest of the videos that are there or that are public. I uploaded a short that's got 71 views, and like 1 like. But the rest of them thus far haven't moved. No views, no.
Okay. How you guys feeling about the progress?
I mean, for me, again, when it comes to organic traffic, like what we've been doing, I feel like the stages are more about awareness before having a lot of, I don't want to say buy-in, but before you have a contact list, I would assume that from an organic standpoint, there needs to be a lot of trust that has been built. And trust is built, in my opinion, via these platforms through the amount of content that you put out there, what your CTAs are, what your message is, and how consistent you are around that. So, I can put a CTA to a lander or an offer on every single piece of content that I put out there. Do I have enough, and have I put enough value out there to increase that consideration? Is my 7-second pitch enough to convince somebody to even get something for free is because it's free. The reason that they don't want to do it because they have nothing invested in somebody they don't know. I mean, all of those kinds of questions percolate in my head. And then I just go back to the common denominator. What is the one thing that I can control? Content going out. That's it. All I can do. And once I throw away all that head noise, I'm like, all right, just get your head down and make sure that the content's going out. Yeah, you've been doing one a day. All right, we're not getting traction, or at least the kind of traction that we would want to see from things like views and from tension and all that. All right, fine. What are you going to do? All right, let's put 2 out. Let's not make them the same. Let's make one what you've been doing and make the other one faceless. Perfect. Let's start there. Let's go. Let's try that. Double the amount of content. Change it up just a little bit to get kind of an A/B test on what people are more, or at least the algorithm is more apt to put in front of people, and see what happens. So, I need to go in and make some more of that faceless stuff, but that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. Again, I would really like to know like what the motivation has been, and what the through line is for people getting to the website. If it's they, click through TikTok, or what was the motivating factor there?
Do we have any way of knowing source? Probably not.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
How about you, Brian? What do you think of our progress?
I'm naturally impatient.
Okay.
So always critical of building over time. And also, I think we're putting out a massive effort from a content perspective. I do wish that it would go, something would catch. A little hint of success so that we could follow the analytics and go, oh, okay, this is what works, and scale against it.
Touche. How about you, Jim?
I think I'm sort of in the lines of Matt. I think that it's just about just getting it out there yet. I mean, we're still in the building phase. We're still trying to attract folks. I mean, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, when you're pushing those videos out there, it's only a small, very small percent of the population seeing it at this point. Because like Matt said, or Brian said, you get that traction. You have something that really pops, and like Matt's one viral video. You get something like that, and now that you have the content there, you have that one viral hit, and then they'll start popping back in your feed to see what's the other videos, and what else does this creator have out there. So it'll hit. It just takes a lot of time. I mean, I'm thinking back to some of the Jesse Singh trainings, right? I mean, how long was he doing his TikToks before they took off? Now he's like the biggest affiliate producer for Lasha. I mean, it just takes time. I think we're just too fresh to expect to see the traffic yet, to see the results. So I'd say just keep pushing it. I don't think that we're doing anything wrong. I think we're doing everything we need to be doing, and just keep pushing the content, creating. Like Matt said, try the different things. Try the faceless. Try the. That was my big thing. I think I was doing probably not enough face. I was probably doing maybe too much faceless, and I was probably just mixing it up. Sometimes some of the biggest hits, if you see out there, are the folks that just have pictures, and you have to slide through the slideshow to see their content. something grabs you to pull you into it, and you go to the next slide, and then it's like, oh my God, there's 50 paragraphs on there I gotta read. And it's like, am I invested or not? Well, did they grab you for a book? Maybe they did. It just depends on the first book and if they swipe it. I don't know. So there's like, a number of different ways you can post the content. And I think from that point, just doing it all. You can't just be a one-trick pony. But I'm confident. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't have expected to have had a ton of views and hits already. We've only been posting for a month now, give or take. I think Matt probably a little bit more than myself for sure. Consistently, anyway. No, I mean, I would say you've been a lot more consistent, I think, Matt, in the past.
I'm not rolling my eyes at that. I'm rolling my eyes at what Troy just put in the chat.
Let's go Microsoft.
Anywho, not to derail, because again, I'm impatient. To Brian's point, I really do want to see something pop. I think where I kind of govern myself is an understanding of, or at least the thought process, maybe not understanding, but the thought process of there's definitely a time element. There are variables completely out of my control about what I can and can't do as far as reach, as far as getting people to where I want them to go. Control what you can control. Okay, if I want people to go to the lander, henceforth, wherever my stuff is, or people have the ability to interact with it, it will be directed to the lander. So, for example, if I don't specifically say it in the content, it'll be in the description. It'll be in my link in bio. Like it's not to the cohortiv.com, it's to the lander that I want them to go to. So that I'm narrowing the options that they have about where I'm directing them. Okay, so I can control those things. Now, outside of that, what else can I control? The volume of content. If you're putting out 7 a week, put out 14. If you're putting 14 out and still not seeing it, do 28. And again, it doesn't have to be the same thing every single time.
I think that's the critical component, though, because I don't know that finding the right content, because I don't know that volume is always, brute force isn't always the answer. It might be different content.
Well, and what I'm saying is your volume could increase, but what you're putting out, the format, different.
Yeah, I think that's
so. For example, if I put 7 pieces of content out, the format is different in all of those 7. Then I feel like I'm doing too much in terms of formatting, to be quite honest. And it's already kind of difficult it's already cumbersome to create a single format of 7 pieces of content over the course of a week. But if you're only putting out 1 a day, and it's all different, how much opportunity are you really giving yourself to find the one that is going to go viral or attach? I don't say viral, but is going to resonate. So I think that there's how to explain it. The volume that I'm talking about has to do with variety rather than just sheer volume, sheer brute force.
right.
That's why I'm adding faceless to it. It's like, all right, here's a different kind. I've seen that in the past. The faceless ones that I've done have gotten 1,000 views. Okay, let's try that, see what happens. My plan is to at some point today, and I hate to do this to everybody, but at 9 o'clock I got to go because I got meetings that run until 2 o'clock today. But the plan is to find one of those super virals and do a copy and have that go out on Friday. And do that once a week. Good. So it's 2 a day for every, for all the ones that I'm doing, faceless and, non-faceless videos. And then once a week, have one of these, just do a copy of something that's somewhat relevant. Remote work from home. I don't necessarily think that business startup is exactly where we're trying to go. Or at least it won't have as much of a reach from an SEO standpoint as a remote work or work from home will. So that's probably what my focus will be on. But yeah, that's kind of where my head's at.
Troy, what's your thought?
I get impatient, and when I do, I get distracted and move on to, but I always come back around. I don't know how, I refine that center, and I come back and it's like recharged and pick back up. I've been doing this long enough that I know that the minutia counts, it matters, and that stupid, simple, overly repetitive stuff gets to me, and that makes me impatient also. And so, like, doing these videos and getting the closed captions, I know the purpose, I know the need of getting all this together, but for the last week, maybe, it's been painful to sit down and do it. It's taken a lot of discipline to come around to sitting down and getting it done, or going over to the studio and recording something because, whatever it was that I did, now I'm doing something that I haven't done before. I'm reviewing content before putting it out there. And that's dangerous for me, because then I want to redo it and perfect shit. And so, that's been a struggle. And that's making me impatient, because I have to follow my own guidelines here, that I'm not gonna start this ball rolling until it's, I gotta pick a big boulder and roll down the hill if I'm gonna make a splash, and so that makes me impatient. But I get to tune in every now and then and see what you guys are doing, and in our calls like this, they help a lot. I feel like I'm playing catch up. Like, you guys are already posting and you're already getting content out there, and sometimes it feels like you're light years ahead of me. I'm really playing catch up, trying to get this shit done. And so that frustrates me. And I'm very much a man when it comes to that, and when I get frustrated, I want to just go break something. I don't want to build it. I want to go fucking break it. And but I think overall, I think the progress we've made is fucking phenomenal. Look at the site. Look at the amount of product. Look at what we've got. Compare it to a year ago. Look at what we have established. You know, we may not have the addresses in our email, and we may not have the flow to our website and our landers. Man, this is very much a Kevin Costner movie, and if you build it, they will come. You know, we've got it pretty fucking built, man. I think it's very impressive. I think what we've accomplished, and I mean, let's go back to a year ago. Okay, a year is not a whole hell of a lot of time, especially for guys with full-time jobs and families. A year is not a lot of time. And we've covered a lot of freaking ground in a year, man. We've covered a lot of ground. And that really humbles me. You know, that when I put it in that perspective, I have no right to be impatient. It was, you know, we've been pretty balls to the wall in getting stuff done. You know, like when my client showed up with a 1911 that he needed work on, you know, I'm like, you know, I got this thing, but okay, you talk me into it. Let's do it. And I get to work on a pistol, and 5-6 hours later, I've got something completely different than what I started with. I've added so much value to what he brought me. He brings me a $300 off the shelf, well used firearm, and I turn it into you know, a pretty honorable piece. And I can get that accomplished in 5 or 6 hours. And like, man, that's the type of distraction that I need. I want to see that near immediate outcome. But, you know, we've been working at this with the same fervor. And so, multiplied by 4 and quantified over time, the outcome is going to be that same outcome to an exponential degree once we see it. And you know, I allow myself to get those little distractions when I should be working on this. Then I come back to this. I'm like, man, I have no right to be impatient.
But you need your maker time.
Well,
and I don't think this satisfies it sometimes. So, like, a little bit of time with the gunsmithing is good for your soul.
Dude, I tell you what, I turned on the machine shop this weekend, and you know, I found rust on machines, and it's like it hurt my soul. You know, I have so much time and money invested in that, and it just, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I kicked myself quite a bit thinking, dude, how could you neglect this? But that was I did that intentionally. I made this agreement with myself that had become a luxury, and I can't afford these luxuries, and that this has got to be the focus. So you're right. You got to have that maker time, and I walked away from that. I cleaned up the shop, and I cleaned up the machines, and got everything somewhat organized, and it clicked something. You know, I came back in here into the office, and holy shit, man, the desk was disheveled and shit's all over the place, and my notes are fucking crazy. So then I had to take time to organize this and get this back, because I can't have an organized focus in a disorganized environment. And yeah.
Oh, look at it there.
And you know, so the maker time does do a lot, and for me, I think the thing that it helps with the most is just having those few hours really puts everything else back into focus, and it's a recharge. Huh?
Right.
It's a recharge, and it is important.
It is important. I mean, I hope everybody is getting their distraction fulfillment time. I mean, yours is clearly obvious what fires you up, but I hope everybody else is getting theirs too.
I hope so too, man. I hope so too. It's important. You know, I've got a couple milestones that I got to hit before I teach my kids. We've been planning through the winter. You know, as soon as when summer hits, when you guys are out of school, we're gonna fire up the forge and we'll learn some blacksmithing. We gotta make knives. We gotta fold some knives. We gotta do some shit out there. And I've got milestones I gotta hit. My kids reminded me, you know, and now that the garage is cleared out and we've got space to work, they're like, "Oh, Dad, is it today?" And so that really puts an impetus on it. It's like I gotta hit these milestones because my kids aren't as patient as I can be, and I'm an impatient motherfucker. But they're not as patient as I can be, and that really helps a lot. You know, and keeps perspective. It's it's a hey, are we there yet? How about now? Are we there yet? And it makes you drive faster. And you're right, it is important, and it helps a lot. So back to the question, what do I think of our progress? Man, look back over the year and look at where we're at.
Agreed. Keep going. Keep putting out content.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Man, that's where we're at. It's what we do. That's I think so. Just keep trudging on, man. You know, the last half of the race is the roughest half. Yeah.
All right.
And
I
at
want
least
to see a full-on Oh, sorry.
No,
Okay.
go ahead. No.
I was just going to totally change topic a little bit and say I want to see a full-on blacksmithing with your kids course when you are done with this. Videos and
Oh,
that's awesome.
no.
I mean, that's a lost skill. That's something that you don't see a lot of. I love watching that Forged in Fire,
Mm-hmm.
that show there. It's yeah, it's just amazing. You know, that you can take something, you know, burning steel, melting it, and hammering it. That's going to get aggression out, right? You talk about having
Well,
an acre time.
it's a metaphor too, or at least it could be used for anything. I mean, for starting from nothing essentially, and then going through a process of labor-intensive, you know, a labor-intensive process that requires effort, sweat, you know, discomfort, all of those things. I mean, that's mindset in business. That's starting a business. That's mindset in life. I mean, there's so much that can be done with that kind of content, not just, hey, look, we made a ninth this weekend, and it's not that that wouldn't be great. It absolutely would, because some of those videos that I've seen from Forged in Fire are absolutely amazing, especially when it breaks. But like, cause that in and of itself, I mean, there's just so much that you can do with doing something. That's the thing that I feel like I'm missing in some of the content is, it's a talking head. You know, there's not an element of doing. A lot of the viral videos that I've seen, over the past couple of months is, things like this website will pay you whatever. Well, what are the next pieces of that video? It's shots of do X, Y, Z. Go to this website. Click this button. It's process oriented. It's like, here's how you do this. And everything that at least I've been putting out has been very
Yeah.
not as deliberate
I'll
as
say
all of it. I mean,
people need to be told what to do.
sometimes we do too.
Well, that's what Troy does for his clients, right? He tells them exactly what to do. It's a process. It resonates with people. That's what we want. I mean, that is what we want. We want a clear outline of what to do. Maybe our content can lead in that direction.
It's something at least I'm considering in terms of how do I turn what I've been doing into something that is much more actionable than just, hey, go to our website.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll be the first to admit that my content is on the lazy side of things. It's mostly to have presence. I can be more deliberate. Even the horse's ass was, I mean, that was just easy.
You need some of that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't think it's bad to have some of that, but a deliberate ABC, here's what I want you to do, mixed in there would be good too, probably.
No, for sure.
As humans, we want to be told. Well, not me. I want a suggestion, not a dictate, but I'm not everybody.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of people want handheld, frankly.
100%. They want somebody else to do it for them.
Yeah.
Okay, that was not good there.
Yeah. Yeah, they want the plug and play ready to go. All I got to do is turn this switch and hit this button, and cash starts popping up. That's what they want. And you can't have that. It doesn't exist.
Well, and I would say that's the antithesis of our who we want to work with. Like, yeah, I don't want you clicking on my shit and engaging with us and setting up appointments. Like, I don't want to waste my time. Like, if you understand that this is work, it's just a different kind of work than what you might be used to from a 9 to 5, but the rewards far outweigh and are much more rewarding than what you've been doing at your day job. If you can believe it before you see it, then you'll get there. But if you're waiting on, if you need the evidence, before you have the belief, then you're screwed, because that's where your chicken exit comes into play.
Box of chickens.
Box of chickens.
I love it. Matt, you have a 9 o'clock, right?
I do.
Yeah, I think that's
You guys
Matt.
have fun. Let me know if you guys continue, if there's any actionables. Mine, I think I made pretty clear in terms of what I'll be working on over the next few days. I go to Texas Sunday night. I come back on Wednesday, and then the week after we're in St. Augustine. Just from a letting you know timing wise what's going on. So I'll do my best to make meetings if I can. I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
That's good. Safe travels.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Appreciate it.
And I'm at the beach starting tomorrow, so my attendance, it might be all right. We'll see. Depends on what time the girls get up. If they don't get up until a little later, I'll be good. If they start yelling to go to the beach, I can't let an 11 and 12-year-old run down the beach by themselves, I don't think.
Probably not ideal.
Not ideal. They get away with a lot, but I have to be able to see them.
Is that Virginia Beach you're going to?
Myrtle.
Myrtle? Okay.
Yeah, we do this every year just because it's easy. It's like an hour and a half flight, max, direct, cars waiting. It's just super easy.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we take her cousin, so there's 2 of them. Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
Yeah. They keep each other company, right? And
Yeah, they
have
do.
that interaction.
And kids don't feel cold, so they can go in the ocean together, and even though it's cold, they can hang out, and then every once in a while they can tempt me in, but I don't have to be the only person to play with. It's kind of nice. But then again, I just sit there by myself. So there's pros and cons. Otherwise, my daughter wants to play, but when she has somebody to play with, she'd rather play with the peer. So there's, pros and cons, but all good. So we'll see. You want me to put a Monday out there?
Yeah, if you would.
Yeah, I can put a Monday out there. And then I've got I've been working with a guy at no cost who wants to get into coaching. I think he's pretty qualified and willing to throw some resources in the mix. He has an ad up that is converting extremely well, but so it's getting clicks, but it's not getting any true conversion to appointments. How can I cultivate him towards, Troy, could I just do an introduction and maybe we can figure out how to bring him into, how can we help him legitimately with some money coming towards us? You guys have any ideas on that?
Yeah, what type of coaching does he want to do? What has he created? What's he got behind him?
I don't know what all he has behind him. I think he wants to do just one-to-one.
One-on-one? Okay.
His funnel involves a live webinar.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. He doesn't know anything about marketing, nothing about funnels, nothing about landing pages. And he's really started from scratch, and everything. I've tried to encourage him to do some modules and start to learn some of that. And I think he just wants to coach.
Okay.
And it may not be us, but I wanted to at least bring it to the group first and say, hey, you know, do you think there's a way to get them in somehow? And if not, you know, I can send them to another coach. But
All right.
right here.
What does your gut say? I mean, so you're helping him pro bono.
Yeah, like I sent him our resources. Like he took our journal.
Okay.
So he's the last contact that we added.
Okay.
He liked the free business resources, those PDFs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he took those. He doesn't pay for anything.
Okay.
So far, which is fine.
Yeah.
And so that's as far, you know, kind of as far as I've taken him. And also I looked at his, like where he's sending people from his ad. He's just sending them to a calendar app, not Calendly? Cow.
Cow.
This is the cow. There's no like holding hands. Like it just is abrupt. So I think that's why there's no conversions.
Yeah. So has he had any coaching? How did he come into this?
He's a friend of a friend of a friend who, and they just said, hey, Brian's doing something similar. Why don't you talk to him? And so, you know, we had a really good discussion. I think he might be a certified coach at this point. Like he's gone through one of the certification processes.
Okay.
Which is not, you know, it's nice to have that, but it's not, doesn't make you a great coach.
So he's like a life coach or what?
Yeah. Life coach.
All right.
Mindset. I think he's done quite a bit of work. What was that book? The Men's Work or something like that. I think it's a pretty big undertaking. So he's done some of the work from a personal development perspective. Probably can lead people through some transition. But he doesn't know anything about marketing his stuff.
Mm.
So it's really like if he came into the cohort somehow, I could see Troy talking through the process, Jim helping with a funnel, and then, you know, he's probably off and running. So I don't know that it would take much. But our program isn't necessarily set up to help somebody like him, a one-off. Right?
Yeah.
So, again, I'm kind of looking for the brainiacs.
Yeah. Well,
here to help.
Yeah, I say do an introduction. Let's chat with him. I'd like to find out, you know, motivations and kind of where he's at and where he intends to go. And I'm all for helping the guy. You know, I'm all for helping him. Whether we find an outlet for you know, a way to bring some money into the cohort or otherwise, man, if nothing else, we can always say, hey, you know, we'll give you X amount of time, and the only thing that you have to give us is a positive review, and get a testimonial from him, get a recorded testimonial.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's. I got no issues. Man, right now I've got 6 clients and 5 of them are pro bono.
I think we all have the same challenge with just wanting to help and not wanting to charge for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of that. A lot of it.
Me too.
I have so many conversations through the day, and I don't charge for anything.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
We got to get some value exchange happening here.
Yeah. I had figured out, and I haven't been applying it, but intentionally. The folks I'm helping right now are they're either close personal contacts or people that I've been trying to help, that the money's just not there. And man, I've done good at times, and I have to share that. It's like, have I shared with you my philosophy on going out to eat and tipping?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is exactly the same thing, man. I owe it to the universe. It's been good to me, and so this is my 50% tip. And so it's fulfilling, and it's got purpose. And who knows, man? We could knock his socks off and change up. It generally doesn't take a lot of change to start seeing something happen, and then we get a positive review out of it, and we're off to the races.
I think he needs a landing page. I think it's that simple.
Okay. All right. And he's got a website?
Yeah, he's got a website, which I have not explored deeply, but he's got a website.
Yeah. Huh.
You know where he hosts it from, or?
I don't. No, we didn't get into the details. As soon as I go towards the marketing jargon, he kind of throws his hands up. He doesn't know what landing page is. He just hasn't gone through it. I mean, he likes the coaching aspect, but hasn't really done much on the marketing side. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Has he had any coaching clients? Or is it sort of new to him? Is it something he's...
Yeah, he's still got a full-time job. He just wants to move towards it. I think he's done informal mentoring. I don't think he's had a paid client yet.
It fits in good with this group.
Seems like a nice cat. I don't know, I'll do an intro and then we'll see what happens.
How many conversations have you had with him?
I've had one phone conversation and a couple of text/email conversations.
Okay.
So not a lot.
That's doesn't have to be a lot. Does he have you got a sense of what arena his coaching is going to be in? I mean, it's just general life coaching. It's or are we talking about a broke financial planner? Everybody wants to learn from a broke financial planner.
Right. No, I don't have a huge sense for that.
All right.
I think there's more questions to ask. For sure. I mostly just wanted, I did it as a favor.
Yeah.
Actually, a favor of my ex-wife. She's like, hey, you want to talk to this guy? I'm like, sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, do an introduction, man. I'm all for chatting.
Cool. All right.
What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, 100%. the testimonial alone would be good.
I mean, you did
Give us
last
a little more. Give us a little more background and experience in coaching too. It'll help us build a program out as we're helping them too.
Right.
Win-win.
To what end do we want to help him? Do we want to put this guy through a through a full regimen, keep him kind of keep him in our corral until we're done with him? Do we want to do we want to put together a 6-week, 8-week, 10-week, 6-month, whatever? I mean, how married to him do we want to be?
I don't know the answer to that question.
What if we treat them like a cohort student coming in that, hey, like back to our original cohort coaching program? I know I think we changed the format a little bit, right? When we first started, we talked about a 6-month program. Weren't we talking about scaling the coaching back and making it more of a compressed timeline, but more focused? And
Yeah, I think so.
do we want to do? I know at one point we were talking about a 30-day coaching window,
Mm-hmm.
or do like a subscription based. I think we talked about, right? Like maybe do pay by the month and you get 30 days of coaching for the month, and you want to continue, you keep going. Maybe we offer him, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, I don't know. Since he is alpha student, give him 30, 60 days, whatever. I think we need to make sure that we give him enough time he's going to see success before we ask him to start paying if he wants to continue service, maybe. At least. We don't want to sit there for 30 days and then walk away with nothing and be like, these guys. We want a good honest review too. We don't want them just to, hey, these guys helped me, and we really didn't. So I think the question is, how long do we need with him for him to see results? Which is hard because it's individual needs too.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90% on him.
So, how do we define the off ramp? We say, we're going to help you until what? You say until you start building your email list for contacts, so you can start creating sales. Do we say until your first coaching contract? Do we say till the cows come home? Where's the off ramp? This is the problem that I found with early clients. My first 4, probably more. It's just 4 that come to mind. Clients were pro bono, and I hit. I remember one in particular. I hit like 3 months with her, and I had paying clients by then, and I'm going like, how the hell do I get rid of this girl? We need to. I think we need to establish that off ramp so we can set expectation. So, what are your thoughts? Until you start creating an email list, we'll help you until then. We'll help you get on the road and get up to speed. But after that, our time is our money. You gotta compensate us, or do we say, until you have we'll help you until you have a working funnel?
absolutely. We don't want to be sitting there 5 years from now with,
Mm-hmm. You know, of those initial pro bono folks that I worked with, there's only one that I would ask for a testimonial, because I didn't have a standard to hold them to. I didn't have an off ramp, and so things just ended up fizzling out, and that stymied their progress. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't do anything. There's nothing to ask them for a testimonial on, other than the fucking conversations we had. I mean, they helped me create more content than I helped them do anything. Because I did, and I think that's because I didn't have a defined off ramp.
There's got to be a hard end
Mm-hmm.
and defined outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would be a 7-day coaching client. Okay. I think we could talk him into, we'll give you 5 days of X. Because he's ready to go. He doesn't want to do this part of it. So if you could teach him, if we could show him how to outsource this part, I think he'd be off and running. And by off, like the marketing side of it. And then if he finds that his content is no good, he might come back. See the wheels turning.
Yeah, I like it. I like 5 days. Are you thinking like 5 days as in stretched out over 5 weeks, or do we do a consolidated course just all at once, man? It's like,
I think you could have an hour-long conversation with him and provide him enough guidance and resources that he would be able to provide a testimonial, both on some of the stuff he's taken from us, like at no cost, and just the guidance. I don't think he wants to invest the time yet. I don't think he's failed enough yet to realize what he doesn't know. Does that help?
that does. That paints a clearer picture of him.
So his ad is productive. He hasn't coached anybody that I know of, or he doesn't know if that's productive or not. And he's not able to convert to anyone opting into his free webinar. So that's kind of where he is right now.
Mm.
did you say ad is productive or is not?
It is. He's getting good click-throughs. He's getting like 10% click-through.
So he's getting to the button, but they're not scheduling the appointments.
He's getting plenty of traffic to that Cal opportunity. No one's taken him up on, like 0 have taken him up on the free webinar.
Okay, so he's missing the what's in it for me.
Yeah, whatever his hook is on the ad is working great, and then I think he's just too abruptly trying. My opinion is he's taking him too abruptly from the ad to the ask.
Right.
There's nothing in between. That's my opinion, but
Or it could be disconnected message too, is the ad and the webinar not congruent.
Yep.
I said that as well. Like, there may be a congruency problem. You may be asking for marriage too quickly. Could be a combination of both.
Does he say how long the webinar is?
It's an hour.
And maybe that's part of it too. Somebody clicking an ad and then, oh, I got to sit here for an hour.
Yeah, they're not making it to the end.
Yeah. Or they don't even want to click into the webinar, it sounds like. So they don't even want to.
They don't even sign up for it.
And is he saying that up front that it's an hour webinar?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's live, so you can't even, there's no instant gratification either.
Right.
Like if it's evergreen,
You have to wait for.
you gotta wait till Friday.
So even if somebody isn't, they're wanting to click into it right now, and they're like, well, why am I? Friday's not going to work for me. I don't want to sit here until. This is Monday. I'm ready now.
I mean, if he's gonna go directly to book a call, Cal, I'd say book a call. Book about 15-minute window. Might be more effective.
Mm.
Let's get on the phone. But he's gonna get on the phone with a lot of people that aren't qualified to get his coaching. Is my guess.
And if he has a day job, and
Okay.
it's really difficult too to sit there and somebody just wants to talk to me right now.
Yeah.
Can't walk away and do that because I'm over here doing my 9 to 5.
Yep. So he's got some things to work around, and he just doesn't know anything about funnels or sales. Well, although he's in sales for LinkedIn, so he does know something about sales. That's not true. He knows how LinkedIn works. A lot of the back end stuff there because he sells some of their functionality. I think it's higher education maybe. So he's got a pretty good pedigree.
Cool. Yeah. What are your thoughts on how, when, and where for an introduction? I mean, do you want to bring him into one of these calls, and have him sit and chat with all four of us at the same time?
I think he would be most comfortable. What if I just threw you over as a resource?
Okay.
As a business partner.
Okay.
And you can brainstorm with him.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
To see if, he can come in some form or fashion, or if we can just do a value exchange or a testimonial or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think he needs to hear similar stuff from somebody other than me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, do it, man. Yeah. Conduct a handoff. I'd love to talk to him.
Okay. And if he comes into the group somehow, If he doesn't come into the group, gives us practice on what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confident we can get a testimonial, if nothing else, on maybe the journal.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Let's do it.
Okay, I can do that. I just wanted to get the group's feedback first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Shit, I ain't shy.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, with the four of us, we can help him.
Mm-hmm.
It's how much help is he willing to receive?
Yeah. That's the big thing, because I'm creating a strategy map. I see an hour with Jim, an hour with Matt, an hour with Brian, an hour with Troy, hour follow up with all four. There's 5 hours.
Sure. I mean,
And
yeah.
And yeah, just looking at list of our products, of our current products. We've already got his entire coaching curriculum already established. One of us can walk him through branding. One of us can walk him through follow-up email campaigns. One of us can walk him through craft your message. Email marketing funnel workbook. Build your own funnel. We've got everything already created.
Maybe part of that is me not knowing everything that's created, and you just being able to say, "Hey, we've got build your own funnel."
Mm-hmm.
You just need a funnel. You need a better funnel.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it would be good practice to babysit somebody else's kids before we have our own.
Sure.
As a crew.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. So no, I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great.
All right. So I do a warm handoff, and we'll continue the conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the last thing I had on my list for today. Any other things that we need to talk about?
I'm sure if we sat here and thought long enough, we'd come up with all sorts of shit to talk about.
I do think that this episode probably has some pretty good video in it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say that out loud.
Yeah, I think you're right. I have not pursued anything in Fiverr. See if we can get somebody to help us break these videos down.
Okay.
That is on my to-do list for. Bring up my list. Yeah, for tomorrow. I've carved out some time between client calls tomorrow. that I'll start following through on that. I'd like to start getting some of this parceled out into consumable chunks.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Hey, maybe Alex will pay for that.
Maybe. All right. I think one of my pro bonos. I think she may be an option for us to convert to a paid cohort client. I think that's the direction that she may be going. She's seeing some results. She's not hard-nosed. Like hard-nosed with her consistency, and she's not. She gets a win on Friday, and then she's whining by Tuesday because she hasn't put anything new out, and she hasn't got any new traction. One of those. But I think she may be an option for us. Just trying to get her past that $1,000 mark. And I think she'll be an option for us. Because there's a lot that we haven't touched on. She's got a couple. I think she's up to 3 99-cent offers that she's embedded in PayHip, and she's using ads as content, driving traffic. but I think she may be convertible. We'll see.
Okay.
No. No. So, it's all. We're gaining ground. We may not have phenomenal traction yet, but we're gaining ground.
Inroads.
Yeah. Well, I think we all knew that this would be the this would be the squeeze. When we were creating website and landing pages and product, we saw the tree was bearing fruit every day by the end of the day. And so I think we knew that this was going to be the squeeze, where we got to just suck it in and push through. No. I still fully believe that we'll hit that $5 million mark by December. I absolutely believe it. We just got to hold that image collectively.
Hold the line.
Yeah. We got to just recognize that collectively, and every day has to have steps toward it.
I've been writing my goals every day. I'm gonna say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to 10, where I'm consistently hitting 10,000 steps, reaching 10,000 people, and making $10,000.
Okay.
Of the 3, I got the steps down. 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3, dude. Holy shit. You know what? That's very remarkable.
It's easy to remember.
What's that?
It's easy to remember.
Yeah. No, that's very.
If we can reach 10,000 people a day, we can get $10,000 a day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, dude, I like those. Yeah, I like those.
How do we get there? We walk, we post, and we offer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We sell pockets of chicken.
Yeah, pockets of chicken. I mean, I think the dads will buy this crap, right? Like, I would buy a box of chickens.
Okay.
Because that's just good marketing. I think.
Yeah. Cool. I dig it.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's walk
All right.
and offer.
All right. Very cool.
You guys are inspiring me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's fun to have this collective to work through together. It's I was talking to my coloring book guy, and he's kind of in a lull. He stopped making cells. But he changed up too much stuff. He's got no definitive call to action. He's changed up. He got complacent. Didn't paint by numbers, and this is fulfilling an ultimate goal for him, or potentially fulfilling an ultimate goal for him. And man, he was just kicking rocks. He's had a week where he's made 2 cells, and he's consistently putting out. He's doing, but he's skipping steps, and really after our conversation, and I sat and reflected, brought it back around full circle to this, that, I can look back on times where my desire to be distracted was so overwhelming that had I not had these calls, had I not had some sort of accountability with y'all, that I would have moved on to something else.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about accountability.
Yep.
Although I might have to ask you guys to help me fill up my day job again.
What's that now?
I might have to have you guys help me fill up my day job again.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think this Ocean Infinity stuff may be coming to an end here soon. They hired a new executive, and I suspect he's gonna shake everything up. And I'm a contractor, so contractors are easy to dispense with, easier than W-2s. So we'll see.
All right, so talk to me on this a little bit. Do you have an industry that you would prefer to work with, or just any business? What's
My perspective is that all businesses have similar problems that need to be solved. Cash flow, people, systems, marketing, strategy, vision, team, how the team is constructed, right people, right seat, right people, wrong bus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think they're systemic. In other words, I think all businesses have similar problems despite the industry. And industry knowledge is very interesting and helpful when it comes to sales and or delivery in some cases. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a process, then it's not going to work in any industry. If you don't have the right people, it's not going to work in any industry. If you don't have cash, and cash flow is poor, you're going to struggle, right? It's all just business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worked agnostic of the industry. If you want deep knowledge, it's government contracting. So if you want me to really apply industry knowledge, it's going to be in that sector. Period.
Okay. So what's your vetting process for, who you will work with, or who you would pursue a relationship with? What's your vetting process?
Conversation.
Okay.
How willing are they to listen and accept help? You often have a very stubborn business owner who's not going to change regardless of what you have to say. That's just a lost cause. I don't want to just take money to take money.
Yep. All right. How have you been conducting introductions? Do you have what's your funnel?
I don't have a funnel. I haven't done any of the process that we do.
Okay.
It's all been, my sales has been, hey, I know this guy.
Okay.
He might be able to help you. That's it. So I haven't done any work.
All right. Would you be
willing to say that for sure?
Okay. Would you be opposed to, putting together a series of live webinars where you can have Q&A, where if I could funnel some prospects in to chat with you, what freebies would you have to offer them on government contracting?
Nothing right now.
No. What type of insights? If somebody were to come to a webinar where they could have potential Q&A with you later on. What's the 3 or 5 or 10 things that you want them to leave with?
So I could use some help honing this. I feel passionate about trying to help the business owner who's killing himself trying to do everything solo.
Mm-hmm.
So the folks that own a job rather than a business, and I'm kind of passionate about helping them convert that to a system, like a legacy producing situation.
Okay.
What are the free takeaways associated with that? I don't know yet. It's going to take a little thought.
Okay. I've got, just in my conversations the last 2 weeks, I've got 6 or 8, maybe as many as 10 potentials that I'd put together a flyer and create the entrance of a funnel where I can send these guys to you, because they are exactly that. They have income. Their businesses are productive. Government contracting, our aim is to have this, somewhere between 15 and 25% of their portfolio. They're not there yet. They've completed 75% of the steps to be ready for full-time government contracting. And they're killing themselves by trying to do it all. And I just don't know. See, we got to come up with, like I said, 3 or 5 or whatever, however many things, so that 1 or 2 of them is gonna, at least 1 or 2 of them is gonna resonate with each one of them.
Yeah.
To inspire them to come in and spend time with you. So if you could put that together and then put it together in a 30-minute presentation, and then give 30 minutes of Q&A, forward 30 minutes of Q&A for the group, and then have a hard call to action to put together a complimentary one-on-one hour where you'll go through their helping, walk through their business plan, their business model, their marketing, their whatever, have and structure that in points. Like, these are the 10 points that we're going to address, and then realize that if I see where you really need some work, I'm going to give you the opportunity to bring me on board as a contractor to help take some of this load off. And be upfront about that. This is what I do for a living, and I want to help you. But realize at the end of this call, I'm gonna ask you to commit if it looks like this is, you are in a position and have a business that I can help with. If you created that, if you created 3 or 5 points that you want, freebie issues that every young business in government contracting needs to attend to, the things that you see people failing at the most, and how to overcome those, and give those freebies away in the webinar. Have a 30-minute live Q&A, and then have a 10-point inspection or whatever it is that you can sit down and talk to them one-on-one, out of the group. They schedule an hour with you that you're going to go through this stuff one-on-one, and you want to see the bread that they're buttering. They got to be able to share shit with you. And then however you vet them, are they a good potential client? And then, you just check the boxes and say, all right, now I've done my part. Here's where I say, hey, for X number of dollars per hour or per month or whatever it is, however you have your structure, however you have your billing structure set up, and how long is the contract for? Are you looking for an indefinite contract? Is it a 6-month contract? Is it bring me on for a year? What is, and what are the guarantees? What's the outcome? What's in it for me? What are you going to help them do?
Okay.
All right. Then we can start with some of my clients, and depending on how things go, what type of reception you have, I'll throw it out to my program. We've got 8 of me in my program. We can bring in all sorts of others, and then if you have good success with this program, then you just start marketing to other programs, and we can even do a handoff. I can even, maybe one of the smartest routes would be to do a mock-up webinar that I'll attend, and then I do an introduction between you and my program manager, just so there's no conflict of interest, and he can say, yeah, we'll share your free webinar, we'll share your trainings. We do that all the time. And this is the venue that you need to be in. We have the clients that you need to talk to, and you're counseling on things that are outside of our spectrum. So, I'd recommend writing down a list of a checklist of criteria they have to meet. Have to have a SAM registration, have to have a current UEI, have to have a cage code, have to know their NAICS, have to be engaged in contracting to X degree. I would even throw in there, have to have, what type of business exposure, what type of income are you working with? Or, are you going to have a side cater to those clients that haven't broke the income barrier yet? So have a vetting checklist of criteria. So then we as regional managers and as program managers, we can vet them for you or put that in our funnel, like the pre-vetting criteria. If you're this, if you're this, if you're this, if you're this, click here and get signed up for this webinar. How many seats are you going to offer? Because if you've got 30 minutes for a Q&A, you probably don't want more than 10 or 15 people.
Okay.
Out of 10 or 15 people, three of them are going to ask the most questions, and they're going to take 10 minutes apiece.
Sure.
So limited seating, and have 3 options for times that they can, 3 webinars that you're going to do. What I've seen work the most is having East Coast, a Central, Mountain, and a Pacific webinar, so then you're catering to their hours. One of my contracting authorities with the Navy, it's what she does, and she has phenomenal results from it. That's where I would start.
That's plenty of to-dos.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate that.
I feed through fire hoses.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a lot of this stuff has been on my mind.
Uh-huh.
It's a matter of action, and it's challenging to work this and the other, right? To hold down the current gigs and work on Cohort IV, and then start a similar program for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With a mom that has Alzheimer's and a special needs sister and a dog that can barely get up and down the stairs. I mean, it's just preaching to the choir, right? But
It is a lot. But this is a great resource, man. My program, the nationwide program, is a phenomenal resource, and we have the clients that you want to talk to.
you do.
Let's get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not sniping contracts, as long as you're not going to charge them for what we do for free at taxpayer expense, as long as you don't have that conflict in there, and you can recognize those boundaries and adhere to them, I don't see why any program manager would tell you no. Some of them are going to be very protective of their clients, and they're going to vet you hard. But if we can get one program underneath you, then I think there's great potential there.
Okay. Well, maybe you and I can have a follow-on, later on about what your program does offer and what they don't offer. Because there may be another way, there may be shortcuts to, in addition. Right?
Uh-huh.
So you don't do the work for them.
No.
That could be another avenue, is how does work get done.
Okay.
Anyway.
So real quick, because I will forget. Let me share a couple things with you.
Okay.
I'm going to send it over in chat.
I do have the website bookmarked, I think, but maybe not the ones you're sending.
All right. here's our most recent new client guide. This gives you a good idea of what we do.
Okay.
And
Love it.
all right. Start with that.
Yep, this is solid.
Okay. And that way there's no cross contamination.
Okay.
And that's going to be pretty standard for every program. Every program is half state, half DoD, and so their various state initiatives are going to be different. So there are some that do a lot of work with granting opportunities, with SBIR and SITR opportunities for innovation. And I don't. I pass that off. I send that to an innovations team.
Okay.
We do a lot of work with people who want to work with national laboratories. Do a lot of work with people who just want to work with a local school district. And I think your income variable is going to be the same either way, as long as they have some form of, as long as they are established to X degree, whatever you determine that is. What are you gonna charge, and how are you gonna profit, and how are they gonna profit? As long as you can have that delineated. Yeah, and then we can have follow-up chats about it, man. But I think that's the way to go.
Okay.
You need to fill that funnel. Let's create the funnel. Okay. And dude, you've got amazing resources at your fingertips to push people into it. One thing that you can do is you can have an Apex only webinar where you can talk about where you see contractors failing once they're in the environment. What problems do they encounter? And those aren't things that we can overcome, but maybe there's something that we can produce for you. Take your webinar and let's put it on paper. Let's put it into SlideShare format or whatever. Create a workbook for them, and then offer that to all the Apex programs. Offer that webinar. And then offer, take them through what you see, how you see businesses failing, and how to remedy those. Not for us to remedy for them. Be sure to get this across. It's not for us to remedy for them, but it's for us to be aware of as we're counseling, so we know how to establish off-ramps or interventions. That's matter of fact, just brainstorming, just listening to my own lips flap. That's a great play. That's a great thing that we don't know. I'm too strict on it, and I get the angry finger wagged at me because I am so strict on my triage, on whom I will help and whom I won't, because of their capabilities or their lack of capabilities. Maybe that's something you can speak on. It's coming from the CFO, the position of the CFO. how to triage a potential client and continue the triage through your time with them. What's a category 1 client? Who is the most likely to survive? What's a category 2 client? The one who has a good chance of surviving, but he's got some things that need attention. What's a category 3 client? The one who just ain't gonna survive. My category 3 client, my most recent one, she's a children's book reseller. And how the hell are you going to contract with the government on that? The government ain't going to buy your damn books. We may be able to get you a vendor's booth at AFES, but the government ain't going to. So that's my category 3 client. There ain't nothing I can do for you. So, maybe get you in on some interviews with some Q&A with some program managers, so you can kind of establish that guideline on, so that then you're not just taking it from one source, you're getting sources with a higher degree of view. And then put together a webinar for all of the Apexers on, how do you triage a client? How do you know what to look for in their business? And then we can start funneling people to you for contracting opportunities. So then you put on then we go back to what we were just talking about, is you put on a webinar for then, after you know the Apexers and we know you, then they're going to be more comfortable and confident with sending our clients to you.
Okay.
And then that's the largest funnel in the nation, dude. I mean, international. We got government contractors in Guam that you would be working with. So let's do the work, and let me help you, dude. Shoot me emails, or let's have some one-on-one time or whatever. Let's get this hashed out for you. One thing that would really help is, as a government contractor, reach out to your local Apex and get in the system. Be a user of the system that you want to offer services to. That's going to be the very first thing that everybody asks you is, are you a client?
Okay. Cool. That's a good idea.
Okay.
And my apologies. I'm sure you both probably need to transition to the next stuff too. But you gave me a fantastic list of
cool
next steps.
Cool. I did.
And I'll be, part of this process will be registering as a service-enabled business, service-enabled, better-known small business.
Yep. You've got to go through the SBA for that.
Yeah, I got to jump through the hoops, but it's easy to verify at this point.
And
that would be nice because any of your large contractors can take credit for that. If they use me.
Yep. Let me hold on before you leave. Let me share one more thing with you.
Sorry, Jim.
No, don't apologize. I love eavesdropping, to be honest. The collaboration's awesome. I mean, that's what
what it's all about.
The cohort is, right? That's awesome. The collaboration and the learning off each other. But yeah, I'm gonna get dropping here, but again, that was an awesome call today. A lot of material too. So I'm gonna grab that recording. I'm gonna hack it up.
Yep. There's some good stuff today. We need to try.
Yep, we didn't even get the best topic.
I know. Who knows what that was?
I do, but I won't tell you. I don't like surprises, so you guys will be surprised next time, I guess. But we'll chat soon.
All right.
Cool. Later, man. All right. Here's doc share with you.
Got it.
Okay, so I got a ton of veteran-owned links in there. And you know, this is mostly Utah centric. So, like the getting started, all those blue links, those are Utah links.
Not all
And the
of them.
getting,
I Sam. There's a lot.
yeah. So, okay, yeah, the sign up and the client guy. Yep, you're right. So, anyhow, utilize that. Get your business registered. Get registered with Apex first, very first. So you start that relationship now, and get registered with SBA. Then get your SDVOSB. You got a working capability statement?
Nope.
Okay.
That's on the list.
All right.
I'd work on that. You know, some of this has been who do I really want to work with? Like, I don't want to create revenue just to create revenue. I either need to start a business for real and and leverage people to do the work that I don't want to do, or just pick and choose. And I haven't completely decided. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Because I could go back to really contracting, or I could just help the people that I want to help.
Yeah.
It's two different models. So from a capability statement perspective, I guess I could have two.
Yeah. Well, I tell my clients to have multiple cap statements.
Depending on the audience, of course.
Yep. So here, send you some stuff on cap statements.
I'm gonna have all the various flavors I had for a previous company, but nothing for me.
All right. Well, and this may be redundant stuff that you.
Oh no! I mean, it's always good to have these resources.
All right, and there's some cap statement resources for you.
I have got to make this school board call before I on with my day.
Yeah. One last one, just food for thought. It's not much, but it's part of my vetting. then I will let you go.
Ooh, this is good. Oh, I like it.
All right?
All right, brother. I appreciate it. I really
Anytime,
do. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro. Take care.